We did it. She did it. Today is a big day because today is the day, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we finally bring our baby home from the NICU. Woo! Lola is not very happy. She hates the car ride here.
She just woke up.
She just woke up. She hates the car ride here because it takes a long time. But we are outside the children's hospital right now. It is day 83 of NICU life, and we're pretty sure today's the day she's getting released. So we'll get Lola out of here, go check on Soleil, and hopefully we'll update you in a little bit. So, doctors have told us, and based on Soleil's treatment, today is most likely the day she's getting released, but we are going to do rounds with her doctors here in a second. When we round with the doctors, it's when every morning we get together in like a little huddle and talk with all her doctors about how she's doing. So the rounds this morning are what will officially lock it in. But I mean, every day up until today we've been prepping for it. Everybody's ready. So hopefully today's the day. We're going home. Woo! We are officially on our way home from the NICU. Hospital bracelets have been cut off. It is so freeing. And we have our two girls in the back seat and a trunk full of equipment and stuff from a 3-month-long NICU stay. It's been insane. We have so many updates, so many things that I feel like I can finally share. And not that I couldn't share before, but I just feel like I've not been in the mental space to do that.
And we didn't have the full story yet.
And we didn't have the full story. I didn't want to share anything about her medically until, you know, she was out of there, because the worst thing is when you're in the thick of it with something medical and
things pivot.
Things pivot, or you have all of the internet telling you what you need to do or what's like actually going on. So I just feel like I can breathe for the first time in a very long time. We were talking just now about how like we're shocked that neither one of us cried getting her out of there, but we're probably gonna cry on the drive home at some point, and we'll probably cry this evening when it's time to put them both down for bed. But yeah, we got our girls together and we are heading home and gonna take Soleil and Lola back home to their big bros. We have family at home waiting for us. Our boys. It's been a very, very long day. We went into the hospital at 9:30 this morning to start the discharge process, and
6:30.
It is 6:30 p.m. right now, and you know, it's been a whirlwind. It's been a whirlwind, but yeah, we're so excited.
She did it.
She did it. She is the, if I talk about it too much, I'll cry, but she did it. We all did it. We made it through the NICU. She officially got her graduation cap and diploma today, and we're going home.
Side by side, our fears are done. All the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is
All right,
bright.
both babies are napping. Jordan took the boys out for a walk, and I have the house to myself with the girls. So I finally have a second to sit down and update you guys, but yeah, Soleil is finally home. Oh my gosh, it has just been like such a long, rough last couple months. She was in the NICU for 83 days. So she got out the day before she turned 12 weeks old, or the day before the girls turned 12 weeks old. It's just like, it's been so crazy. It's been such a whirlwind. So she's been home for a few days now. And we've been getting, it's been a big adjustment in a lot of different ways. Like we did somewhat, it was for so long that like we somewhat got used to having just one baby at home. And so the boys are adjusting to a whole nother person to share attention with. You know, we're adjusting to actually having twins and twin babies, and that feels totally new. And then there's a lot of medical adjustments. So I know I've been quiet over the last couple months. There's been so much going on that I haven't shared here. Like having a baby in the NICU is devastating for any amount of time, I'm learning. I've talked to a lot of other NICU parents, and honestly, I went through this phase where the very beginning, the earliest few days felt impossible because, you know, you birth a baby and then it's taken from you essentially, and you don't get any of the postpartum or newborn experience with that child that you thought you would. And in this case, it's like I've been balancing having that experience with one twin and not having it with another. And then the middle, we kind of, it just felt so surreal and so consuming to be driving out to the hospital every day. There was just a lot going on behind the scenes that I didn't share on here because I wanted to wait until we were fully through it to really open up. My girl is a medically complex child, and that's okay, but it's a whole world that like we are new to and that we had a lot of grief over initially. Like literally all of the stages of grief we experienced in our NICU experience. Like you get angry, you get sad, you come to a point of acceptance, and then you cycle through all of it. You're in denial about what, you know, is going on, and you cycle through all of it over and over again. So I've spent the last couple months just feeling like so torn. I wanted to be at home with my kids and be present and recover from a C-section, and then I wanted to be at the hospital with her, and it's this constant feeling of like wanting and needing to be in two places at once and not being able to do it. And then at the same time, it's like you're disappointing your family by having this tough experience or not having all the updates that they want. People are constantly wanting to know when she's going to get out, what's going on with her, what her issues are, what the plan looks like, and we didn't know. And so we wouldn't have answers for people. And eventually after 83 days or after, you know, a couple months of it, I got so exhausted. It's like I wasn't uploading content on here. I wasn't even texting back my friends. I wasn't responding to my family, like, because I just only had enough energy to function and get through that day and wake up the next day and do it all over again. It's just, and on top of all that, Soleil herself has had a lot going on. So, you know I've like taken a step back from YouTube in the last couple months, and I still had to work and do some sponsorships, and people didn't like that. And honestly, I just don't really care because we've had so much serious real life stuff going on that people called me like disingenuous or said that the relationship here felt one-sided. And unfortunately, like it needed to be for a little bit because my girl was like my baby was like actually fighting for her life in the NICU, and we were fighting for her life in the NICU. She is not a typical case where it's like you go to the NICU, you grow, and then you get out, and even that would be super hard in itself. That's what we thought we were in for. We thought we were in for a 7 to 10 day stay so that she could grow and get to be a healthy size and get out and come home. What we ended up with was an 83-day stay, 2 different surgeries. She's had like countless ultrasounds, countless scans. I can share more in depth about our experience in a different video where I can like really talk through it, including some stuff that, you know, just still feels really delicate. But she did end up getting a tracheostomy, which is a breathing, you know, device right here. She had surgery there. She had a mass removed there, and she got a G tube. So she eats through a tube right now. We're doing tube feeding with her, and then I'm breastfeeding her twin sister. Soleil actually got her G tube first, and it was a long road getting there. Like lots of like feeding studies and brain scans and sleep studies and, you know, therapies and trying different things, and lots of scans that led to the point of needing a G tube. And so we've been like going through it, and I just haven't shared. But she got her G tube, and when she was in the surgery for that, she actually, it was all done, all completed. They were packing her up to come upstairs, and she like clamped down and stopped breathing. And they called a code white. They had to resuscitate her and do compressions on her for 5 minutes straight. And she ended up getting 3 fractured ribs from that. But it saved her life. And we met a NICU nurse who we love, and he's part of her, he's like her uncle, he's like part of our family now. I told him like, you can't get rid of us. He's gonna be in Soleil's life forever. He saved her life. He has been so kind to all of us. And yeah, that day, like she got her life saved. And while that was going on, we were in her room waiting for her to come back from surgery. We knew she had been out, and like we were sitting there waiting, and we thought she had died. We were waiting for, like, people kept like circling around the room, or around our room, like outside the window checking on us, but weren't coming in to say anything to us. And we were convinced that they were coming to let us know she had passed. And so when they finally wheeled up with her, it just was like so much relief. Like all of the medical stuff we had been going through was just like not a concern anymore, because I'm just like, I will do whatever we have to do to keep her here. And she fought, you know, she is such a fighter. It's like every time that we feel like something is too much for her, or that she can't handle something, or that we can't handle something, she just turns around and she like fights her way through it. She is the strongest little thing, and it's so inspiring. Like our kids are so much stronger than we give them credit for, you know, and so much stronger than a lot of people in there gave her credit for. And yeah, when they wheeled her back, it was just like so relieving. Like I'm like, whatever she needs is not a big deal to me now, because she's here and she's fighting still and she is alive. But because of that, the next day we had to do what they classified as like they put her in critical condition, and she needed an emergency. It was essentially an emergency surgery to give her the trach so that she can have safe breathing in case something like that happens again. What we learned through various scopes there is that she actually has a malformed airway, and that happened in the womb. Like, you know, it was totally uncontrollable, but we had like such a long road to get to that point. Like I said, I'll have to do a whole different video about it, because a lot of it is just like complicated and hard to explain. But she has the trach now, she has the G tube now. It's very busy for us with 4 kids and 1 like, you know, special needs, medically complex baby. But I'm just so happy she's home. Like this, I've been through a lot of rough periods in my life. Like when I think back on my life and I think about like my parents' divorce and the car accident I was in, and 3 labors, and 3 very different labors, and the C-section, and you know, just so much layoffs, like all of these hard times I've been through, and nothing compares to our time in the NICU. Like it was literally the hardest thing any of us have ever been through. And I'm just like, I still kind of can't believe I'm so emotional, because like, I know like there's gonna be some like PTSD from it for both Jordan and I. And you know, we did our best to make sure our kids weren't impacted by it, but Christian's been pretty impacted. You know, he would tell us he felt sad and that he wanted Soleil to come home, and he would act out, or you know, we've been trying to give them extra love and make up for it in the best ways we know how. But I I just can't believe we're actually through it and that we actually have our girl home. And like, you know, it wasn't that I wanted to go MIA on here or with family, but it was like I just didn't have it in me to share much of my life over the last couple months because it's been so hard. It's like, you know, I was telling Jordan, I'm like, I've got a couple comments where people are like, I don't want to see, you know, I don't want to see you talking about a product. I want to see you see your guys' life. I want to see more of you guys. And I told him, I'm like, you know, people say that, but no, you don't. Like, you don't want to see what we're going through right now because it's depressing. Like I'm depressed being in it, so I know people watching would be depressed. Like, it's not, or triggered, you know. I also had someone tell me that me sharing something, I don't know what it was, but me sharing something was like a trigger for them. And a lot of this is very hard or sad to absorb, and I don't ever want to upset somebody, and I also don't want to share like my hardest, most vulnerable parts when we're not fully through it. You know, we didn't fully know what she needed. We didn't know if she needed a trach for sure. We didn't know. I was getting advice from people online just based on like pictures of her with certain things in the NICU, and it just felt so overwhelming. And like, we've been drowning for the last 12 weeks, and now like I literally, the day we brought her home, I felt like I could just breathe. Like, I just felt like I could breathe for the first time since I had them. And it has been such a different postpartum experience than I expected, and it has been very traumatic in a lot of different ways, but we're through the NICU part. You know, we have a whole road ahead of us now of different therapies for her and different things we'll be working on as she grows up, and I'm like fully ready for all of that. Jordan and I dove in. We got so much training in the NICU in order to bring her home. Like, I have learned so much about tracheostomies and G-tubes and vital signs. It, like, my brain, I felt like my brain was like in overdrive working the last couple months because I've been learning for the first time since college, really, or since, you know, starting a new job. Like, it literally felt like I had started a new job, and we would get up and we would drop the kids off at school and we would go to the hospital and be there all day long until it was time to pick the kids up and come home. And even that felt like we weren't there for her as much as we should have been, but we were there. Like, all the nurses were telling us how present we were and how hands-on we were, and it just, like, it really felt like we were like fighting every day. We would attend rounds in the morning and meet with doctors every single morning and voice our opinions and, you know, say when something didn't feel right. And I don't know, it's just been like such a whirlwind. So, you know, I feel like I could breathe. I feel like I'm on the road to recovery now. I'm just so happy to have my whole family together and to start to have some sense of normalcy. And yeah, we did it. She did it. She is such a tough cookie, like so tough. And now we can like start the rest of our chapter as a family of 6.
Even in the hard times,